Looking for an epic charter fishing experience that goes beyond the boat? Want to add in world-class food, festivals, or even football? Come explore everything Louisiana has to offer with a charter fishing trip led by one of Louisiana's top captains. From inshore redfish and speckled trout to offshore tuna and red snapper, from saltwater swordfish to freshwater sac-a-lait. With fishing destinations less than 45 minutes from the airport, Louisiana has something spectacular to offer every fisherman. Go catching with Louisiana's best captains today by planning your next adventure at louisianacharterfishing.com. That's louisianacharterfishing.com.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
For almost 50 years, Midway USA has been America's go-to source for just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Go to midwayusa.com to see our latest deals and promotions and take advantage of our super fast same-day shipping. If you need a cooler, a new fishing rod, another rifle, ammo, or a reloading press, you can find it all at midwayusa.com. Thanks for your business.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. This is episode 313 of the Outdoor Drive. The deer season is among us, and we got some really good podcasts coming for you. This is your boys, East Coast Trev, and I'm joined with the madman. I almost tripped on my words there, Steve.
Did you forget your own? You mispronounced your own name.
No, it wasn't that. I just didn't know the next words to say.
Which was your name?
Yeah. I'm doing good today. I'm sorry.
You can't. It's one thing when you can't get guest names right, but you can't even get your own name right.
I'm going downhill here. We're going downhill, Steve. We're on the back 40 here.
My God.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's just the hustle and bustle is getting to me here. I don't know. Deer season, everything. I'm losing it, Steve.
Dude, I think you need some electrolytes.
A couple of them. Yeah. I need
some liquid IV. Stat.
No, you know what I need? I need some of that Black Rifle coffee in a can, dude. It's
That'll work.
Yeah. That's the real deal there. Oh, how's your cameras been, dude?
They picked up a little bit last. I kind of anticipated it happen though. We got that rain the other night, and then a little, high pressure system came in after it with some cooler temps, and they picked up for sure.
Yeah, and we have that whole cold front coming. I mean, tomorrow, this morning, as people are listening to this podcast, it's supposed to be in the 30s.
Yeah, today's a killer day. Red Moon 2 started yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday I saw that.
Yeah,
Adam Hayes was posting about it.
Perfect storm.
I know, and of course, probably have to work like the rest of us. Well, you don't expect that it's the 9th or 10th of October and there's going to be a 25 to 30 degree difference in temperature.
I feel like we get one not every year, every other year, every few years we get like a good cold snap for like 2 or 3 days, like mid second, third week of October, and like it's fire if you can hunt it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have, you're probably not going to use vacation time. I mean, maybe you do, but like chances are you got to work and you're going to miss it. But like, yeah, that October cold snap can be deadly.
Yeah, and it's that start, right? It's that downhill start. It was like 75, 80, and then it just snapped right into it. I don't know. Yeah. There'll be some good deer shot. There's been a lot of really good deer shot already. Like, I'm blown away that those guys that have been on them from early season in that prep, there's some smokers that have been shot this year already, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Leave some for the rest of us, I guess, because they're already dead. It's not even rough. Like, come on. Stay with us.
For sure. I don't want to say I predicted it, but I kind of had that feeling. I feel like I said it few weeks back where I felt like coming into the season, it was going to be one of those, like, if you're on them, you're on them.
Right.
Like, good chance of killing. If you're not on them, you're not even close.
No, I'm not on them. Like, I'm not even close. My cameras are just, I'm not there. I'm not doing it. I'm not in it. I did hunt last week, Friday, in a field spot, and there happened to be a red oak in there, and I've been watching these deer since opening day and just trying to figure them out. I've put a couple of hunts in on them, and just trying to figure out what was going on. It's a new property to me. It was just blessed. Some friends of ours hooked me up with the spot, and huge shout out to the Perkins. And I got in there, and dude, like clockwork, did exactly what they were supposed to do, and I could not believe how many deer came to that oak tree. I was blown away, like by far blown away. There was at one point probably 9 to 12 deer underneath me, and they didn't even care that I was there. And I had already shot 2 deer. Like, it was nuts. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Was it a lone oak tree, like the only oak tree around, or was it the only one producing?
So, I'm hunting a field edge. And there's other oaks. I don't know because I never really did much exploring. I just knowing that the deer were coming to the field, right? And watching them before opening morning and going in there and just watching the field, and the deer had come in there. And then I went and I sat in there with Mason on opening morning. Nothing came out. The afternoon, I opted to just watch the field. The deer came out, but they weren't doing that. And then I went a couple days later and I hunted a different part of the field, and the deer like beelined out there like 25 minutes before legal light. And I'm like, that's weird. And they came out, and then when I came out of the tree, there's like 15 deer in the field already. And I'm like, where are they coming from? Well, it's an L-shaped field, and there's a peninsula that comes out of it. Well, where that peninsula comes on, there's 3 or 4 big oak trees, and they are producing tremendously. And when Mason had walked me around, he's like, dude, look at all these oaks. Like, this is a sick little spot. And I didn't think nothing of it because at the time the deer were coming out in a different part of the field. So I said, you know what, screw it. And I went the next day after I had watched those deer all come out, and I went and I sat right on that peninsula. And I didn't realize, I knew the oaks were dropping, but I didn't know that they were feeding on them that heavy. Like, I had seen the deer up in that L a couple nights before, and I sat in the biggest oak tree, bro. And I'm telling you right now, when it got to that 30 minutes before legal light down, there was deer just coming out of absolutely everywhere, bro. It was insane. I'd never seen nothing like it. Like, never been part of anything like it. Probably counted 24 deer that night. It was nuts. Dude, it was absolutely mayhem. I shot 1 deer, and that deer ran off, and I'm sitting in there, and another 3 or 4 deer came in, and I picked off the biggest doe in that bunch. Those deer kind of like looped around, and I watched that 1 deer die in the field, and then there just been deer, dude. I'm literally watching the other ones in the binos, and they're underneath the tree. They're coming from the left, the right. There's 9 or 10 deer all around me. They didn't even care I was there, dude. I could have shot 5 more deer. Like, it was stupid. And it was just nuts. So then when I got down out of the tree at dark, dude, there was just deer going everywhere. And so I backed out. So the first deer I ended up shooting, I watched it hit, and it was a little bit further back than I had wanted. It wasn't much, but it was maybe, say, like 3 inches back from like lung, so like center of center, we'll call it. And so I watched that deer bed down in the edge of the field, so I took off and I left, and I went and got dinner, whatever. We came back 4 or 5 hours later. And I just figured that deer would be dead right at the corner of the field. in that first bed, like got out of the field and would have been dead in that bed. And then the second deer I watched go down in the field. So I left. We came back in. I wanted to grab that deer. It was like 70 degrees that night, 65 degrees that night. So I wanted to make sure to grab that first deer, and we had looked for the second deer, but didn't really go out of the field far. So I grabbed the one deer, and we kind of looked around on the edge of the field and then right inside the woods, but the deer wasn't dead there. So I decided
You're on blood though? You're
there
just looking for a body.
no, so there was some blood where I had shot, and then it kind of there was some blood that went down to where that deer had bedded down, and there was 2 or 3 spots where they had left the edge of the field, but it wasn't a ton. And just kind of knowing that I had hit a little bit further back and there was no other blood, we kind of lost blood. So I was like, you know what, let's just back out of here because, in all reality, we don't want to push it. And there was definitely some houses around. So we backed out, and then I went back in the morning and I searched again, and I went a little bit further, and I couldn't find anything. Like there was no more blood, no body, no nothing. So I ended up leaving, and I got back to my house and I got a phone call, and it was a local warden. And
Hold on, I'm sorry. This is that night or the next morning?
this is the next morning.
Okay, yeah.
I got a call from the game warden. And they were like, "Hey, Trev, this is Officer so-and-so. We found your deer. Please give me a call back." So, and at the point, I knew I didn't do anything wrong, right? Like
Right.
we didn't do anything wrong, and I was not in the wrong. I shot it. Everything was legal beagle.
Right.
The problem being is the house that's adjacent to the field that I'm hunting, they are anti-hunting, and I know that. And so I end up calling back the game warden, and he's like, "Hey, we found your deer. It was in this lady's yard and whatnot." And, it's those things you don't want to hear. And mind you, it's 10 o'clock. It's 75, 80 degrees. The deer been sitting out all night. So I went there. And so what happened was somebody had called and thought that lady had thought that somebody had legally shot the deer on their property. So they called the game warden. The game warden came out, and they're starting to investigate and go to the couple of properties and see if anybody had shot a deer. Everyone said no. They got to the property owner where I hunt, and I hunt there. And he's like, "Yeah, he was here. He was hunting last night, whatever, here's his number." So he called me, and so I ran out there and I met him, and I just had to go through all the steps of showing him where I shot it from and all this, because there was an investigation that I shot it on that property. So we went in there and we grabbed the deer. The deer was no good. It stunk really bad. We just kind of dragged it into the woods out of her yard and kind of, just out of sight, out of mind in the big land. I punched my tag. Because I did shoot it and we did recover it, but it was no good. And I had asked him, like, is it wanton waste or anything? He goes, no, it's not wanton waste. Just punch your tag. These things happen, and that's the right ethical thing. And I was fine with that. I had suggested that from day one, like from the beginning, was like, I'll punch the tag. I shot the deer. I couldn't find it. I couldn't knock on anybody's door because he had said, "Well, why don't you knock on their door?" And I says, "Because they're anti-hunting. I know that they're anti-hunting, and they're not."
Well, you didn't even have reason to believe. You didn't know the deer even went that way at the time, did you?
No, and I didn't. But I couldn't go on that property, right? Because I can't go over property bounds to try and find the deer. But it was one of two ways that it would have went. And it would have went there, or it would have went down the hill. And I had looked as much as I possibly could, but I knew I couldn't go onto that property. And then they had found it in the front lawn. And I hit it exactly where I thought I hit it, like pure liver, like perfect. I knew the deer was going to be dead. It just happened. And it sucks, but it was a good ending to a shitty story, honestly. Like, I found the deer. I met a really good game warden that's in the area. It was all good and dandy. It just sucks that it wasn't able to use it, to put it in the freezer.
Put it in the freezer.
That was the most negative part of it, because I was out meat hunting, and you just never want to see something like that happen. So it just sucks. That's the part of early season hunting, though. Yeah, dude, and mind you, from where that bed was on the edge of the thing, that deer was dead within 100 yards.
Really?
Yeah, but I couldn't go. I can't go there. It's like I'm off property. There's nothing I can do, and yeah, it just sucks. That was kind of why I didn't want to push it.
Did it get up out of its bed on its own, or did it get bumped when you recovered the first one?
To be honest with you, my honest opinion is that I think when I got out of the tree stand and I got blown at by those other deer, I think that maybe it ran then.
Got up and moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then died in its second bed, but its second bed was in the yard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shitty situation, but it's tough, and it happens. It's not like, I don't know. It's not like I did anything wrong,
Well, it's one of those, that's an issue you run into, like hunting, close to houses, right? And it's like super trendy right now with like Lee Ellis and Sequan. Like it's super effective. Like there's good hunting, but like that's the risk with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can run out of real estate really fast, where had you been deep on public, same thing happens. You find that deer 100 yards later and you drag it out of there.
Yeah, and it's those deer were just coming from that area, and like she has 18 acres of gorgeous land. Like the woods is there. And I'm on a pretty big parcel too. It's just that it just happened to be on the edge where there's houses, and it just happens. And it's a shitty situation, because you don't want that to happen to anybody, right? But like, what else do you do? I mean, I could have pinwheeled it. If it was 3 inches forward, I would have pinwheeled it, and that thing would have made it out of the field, just like the other one did. But I happened to hit a little bit further back, and it was perfect. But I don't know. It's just, you just do the right thing, man. If you find one of those deer that's not salvageable, where the coyotes are, and you just punch the tag, and you just go with the flow, man. Like, it's just the right thing to do, and it is what it is.
Right, yeah. Well, shit, there's some places and there's some people, even if you don't have to, they punch a tag if they draw blood.
Yeah.
Even if it's like not lethal at all. Like you draw blood, you punch a tag.
Yeah, and I would any day of the week, man. Like, it wasn't, I'm not there to keep a tag. Like, I shot. Yeah. I as an outdoorsman pulled the trigger, and I shot and took an animal. I don't need to be greedy and save tags and whatever else. Like, it is what it is.
Especially doe tag. I hate to say it, right? It's not like we have so many tags.
Yeah.
It's insane how many tags we have, right? And like, it's not like a coveted, you're done.
Yeah, and guys kept saying to me like, well, at least it wasn't a 140. And I'm like, yeah, but to put meat in the freezer to me is the same as a 140, right? Like, I'm trying to put meat in the freezer, right? Like, I don't want to shoot shit to shoot shit.
Yeah, but if it I don't agree with that statement either. Because so say it was a 140, you still lose the meat. The only thing you'll get the rack.
Right.
You would have still recovered the rack and the hide.
Right.
And you would have punched the tag, and you would have got your mount.
Right.
And all that shit. But you would have lost the meat either way.
Right. Which is the shitty part. Like, we do it to put meat in the freezer.
Really.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it feels the same, man. Like, you dude, for me at least, like, even if I shoot an animal, dude, I don't want to have that thing fucking suffering out there getting eaten by coyotes, dude. I don't want none of that, man. That's not why we do it, but
cool. But I don't think that was the case either way. Like, it didn't suffer any more or any less. Like, it's dead's dead. Yeah.
Dead's dead. Yeah. And it was dead, but
yeah.
No, so we just kind of put it behind us. It was a learning experience. We got to meet some new friends, and we just chalk it up as a good and keep on moving. So
yeah,
it was cool.
Back to the Oaks.
Yeah,
I'm I'm still getting back in the groove of things after being in Canada for a week, right? But it appears a few weeks back, I thought it was like no oaks because
Right.
where I was. It's starting to sound like to me like it's super sporadic,
Yep.
and it's either like raining oaks in one spot,
Mhm.
and then you could be somewhere else and there's no oaks. Like I'll talk to somebody and be like, "Dude, I got no oaks, or I got no acorns, I should say. I got oaks, I just don't have acorns." I'm like, what are you talking about? My yard's loaded. What?
Yeah.
No way. And like, so it's like you could go to the other side of the property or the other side of town or another parcel, and it can be like a completely different story with the oaks. So it's kind of like if you ain't on the if you don't have acorns dropping, just go find where they are.
Yeah, and I think that, we had this discussion with a past guest about them being woodsmen and growing up in the trees and understanding, as a logger, it was Spook Span, and it was talking about a logger and what trees produce and what trees don't. And I think it's one of those years is if we had documented this could have been like, not saying that that's what it is, but it could have been that third year where only certain trees are producing.
Yeah, no, I
And-
think that's 100% what it is.
And I think that if you knew where those deer, if you were shooting deer, say on year 3, so 3 years ago, that those same trees are producing, like those are good areas to be in now.
Yeah.
And and my areas just don't. I'm not near them. I'm not near them.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely not an expert on the topic, but like the way I look at it is you have bumper crop years like last year where it's like every single oak tree's producing.
Yep.
Then there's years where it's like shit, there's no acorns anywhere, which
Mhm.
is what I thought I was walking into
Correct.
like a month ago.
Same.
But now I'm starting to realize it's like one of those in between years where like half or maybe not even half are producing. So like when I went to scout one of my spots, none of them were producing. So I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those years, but it's just a matter of they're producing, just not that spot.
Not that spot.
So like back to your peninsula, that's why there's that's why there's a dozen deer in there, because those oaks are producing. Who knows where the nearest cluster of oaks are in that general area that's producing? So those ones are producing, all the deer are going to be there. It's basically like a bean field of acorns in the middle of the woods.
And that's what you need to find, and that's what's going to get the boots on the ground here in the next couple of days. Is you got to get out there and find out where those oaks are, because or be in the bedding, be in between bedding and those oaks, right? Like that's, you just hope to hit it on the nail on the head.
Yeah, but you still need to know where those oaks are.
Correct.
I mean, I would imagine bedding is going to be based on what oaks are producing, right? Like they're not going to bed in bedding A if none of the oaks around there are producing. They're going to just completely use a different bedding area closer to producing oak trees, right?
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a tough year. And the other thing too about that is I think in the rut, if you're in those pinch points in those areas, that those bucks are going to be moving from spot to spot. They're going to be on their feet a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. It's a tough thing, man. Like if you don't have the time because of work and whatever, right? So like you can do all your scouting, but like it's super hard to scout like once the oaks are producing. Like that's a weird time of the year to be walking around looking for producing oaks. Like I've got my spots and I've got my areas, and then it's like you go in there and it's like shit, there's no acorns here. Then you go to another spot, shit, there's no acorns here. Now what are you gonna do? Just walk around the woods looking like, dude, the other day I was like sitting up on hill just listening, like hoping I could hear acorns falling in the distance, right? Like locating them that way. It's like it's just tough. It's a tough task, right? Like you just like I don't usually do that. I usually like find myself, okay, there's oaks in here, like let's hope that they produce come fall and hunt it, and then like the season comes, you're like shit, there's no acorns here, this place is useless.
That's how I'm feeling. I'm watching these cameras and they're hitting every once in a while, and I'm like, dude, I'm not in it. I'm just not in it this year.
And the worst part about it is it crushes your confidence in that spot, even though if that spot was like deadly last year, right?
Huge.
And then this year it's dead. So now next year you got to tell yourself like, oh, it's going to be good this year. coming off a year where it was absolutely just atrocious.
I think you just keep those cameras rolling, and you just hope for the best, man. And you just hit the nail on the head when you hit the nail on the head. If you can't find what you don't find, And it also, dude, snow might fly, bro. You know what the best thing to do is just get on your feet and start walking. And finding those tracks. I mean, it's gonna come, dude. It's just
I'm not.
It's the killer's gonna kill mentality. You just gotta keep on it and gotta grind. It will happen. It will happen.
Yeah. I'm not too concerned about it. It's frustrating, but I'm not worried.
It's dude, I didn't think I was gonna shoot a deer this season. I mean, that was my confidence. It was just my confidence thing. Like, dude, my cameras are dead. I don't have a bunch of time this year. A lot of things are going on in life. Like, I was like, I don't even know if I know where to go and kill a deer. But you know where to go kill a deer, bro. When it comes down to it, you know where to go kill a deer. It is what it is. Fine.
My big thing is like, I know I could kill a deer, but like, it's awfully hard to like get excited and like, confidence, like getting hyped to like walk a mile into public with a saddle to get in a tree that you have zero confidence in. Like, you need something. Like, I need like a picture or something solid.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta know he's there.
It might be midnight, but
I don't even have him if I don't even have like a tine on a camera, it's really hard to make that walk.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
But it'll happen. It's early. I haven't even been in the woods yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Saturday, I might get out there.
It's going to be nice on Saturday. Any killer's corners? Anything popping off?
Yeah, there's a few, but I be honest with you, dude, I'm still shot from Moose Camp, dude.
I imagine.
I am not recovered. Like, Moose Camp kicked the shit out of me, and then I came home. The day after I came home from Moose Camp, I went on call.
Right.
For a week. And then I just got off call, like, this week, and I'm just like, dude, my brain's mush.
I understand it. I get it. I get it.
Did you do any while I was gone? Case and Carpenter?
Nope, didn't do that one. Nope. Yeah, if they get a double shout out, they get a double shout out.
Kevin Gray with a nice buck. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll catch up.
Yeah, next week.
We'll get a little list.
We'll get a good list going.
We won't leave you hanging.
No. Case and Carpenter, he's been after it, dude. That kid's just a killer.
Yeah. Actually, Steven hit me up that morning and was like, asked me if I wanted to come help recover. I was on call. I was like, dude, like, if you need me, I'll definitely come help. But like, it's tough for me to drive out there, get out in the woods, and I actually got a call. I had a couple cameras I had to freshen up with batteries, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to do it while I'm on call, bro. It was kind of slow with the work phone. Like, I wasn't getting hammered or anything, but you never know. Dude, I get halfway from the truck back in the woods, and like, it's a pretty, well, you know where it is. It's where I killed that 10-pointer last year. Like, it's in there quite a ways. I get halfway in there, and the phone rings. And I'm like, yep, I got a couple calls ahead of you. I'll be there when I get there. Like, I got to take care of some business first. Oh, yes, I did. What? Continued on my way. Fixed the 2 cameras, new batteries, whatever, freshened up the scrape, and then went back to my truck and went and took care of the call. It was no big deal. It wasn't like an emergency, but dude, you got to do what you got to do, like priorities.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's like this Saturday is my week on desk duty, so I'm working from 9 to 1 on Saturday, and then we're moving. I close on the new house on Tuesday. It's just too much shit going on. I need to get it done. I need to be settled in November's on the cusp.
Yeah, at least get it done now.
Yeah, I have the week off so we can move, but I'll hunt a little bit and hopefully shoot something, but it'll be all good. So, yeah. Other than that, I think we're good. Let's get this podcast underway, dude. And we had some cool podcasts coming up too. So make sure to tune into that. If you guys have killed something or whatnot, get on over to the Facebook. Stevie will keep up on the Killer's Corners. Maybe. We'll keep them going.
I might do it. I might not.
We'll keep you on your toes. But get on over to Facebook. Drop it in there. We love to congratulate you. And, tell your friends about the podcast. We appreciate every single one of you. Good luck. Shoot small, miss small, and short blood trails.
The Outdoor Drive Podcast.
Welcome back. I have Christian from the Hunter Advantage Podcast. What's going on, man?
Oh man, just I'm sitting over here sweating, slaving in the South, but just got back home from Canada, and I was greeted with the 90-degree heat down here in Texas, and so it doesn't feel like deer season at all. So it's kicking off for everybody else, and down here it feels like a little bit of hell's following me home.
Oh man, that's crazy. And you come back from shooting all those animals up north, and then you come down there, and it's almost like it starts all over, and you're right from the beginning again.
Oh, dude, we have a buddy named Lee in Calgary, so in Alberta, and they don't even have air conditioners up there, and they don't have them in the summers, and so. Like when it was 75 up there, they're like, God, it's so freaking hot. And I'm like, dude, if it's 75 degrees in October here, I'm like, oh, it's so nice outside. So, dude, it's just different. It's different. That southern heat is no joke.
Yeah, and is it like no humidity? It's just super dry heat, but really it can be super hot.
It's humid. So we get the humidity because here in central Texas and even in northeast Oklahoma where Jake lives and where I'm from, there's a lot of water. So there's some humidity in the air. So, dude, there's about 3 or 4 months a year where it's pretty much completely unbearable down here.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
I couldn't do it. Being, in where we are in New England, like, we get all the seasons, which is a super great thing. So you get that summer, so it's like that good fishing time, and then the leaves start to change. Like right now, it's average 75. Like, it's beautiful. It's great. And then we get the snow. So, like, you get all of those changing seasons, and it's incredible. It's just it's the best of all worlds.
I went up to Maine. My wife, I guess, got into this TikTok thing and convinced that there was a baby moon, whatever that means.
Okay.
So we went on a trip before we had the baby. We've got a 7-month-old now. And Maine, we went in October, and it was like 40s and 50s, and it was so nice.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
Midway USA brand product designers have one straightforward goal: develop high-quality, technically sound products and deliver them to customers at reasonable prices. If you are immersed in the shooting sports industry and pay close attention to every single detail, you know our products are built right and stand up to everyday use. Who has shooting mats and range bag systems to hunting clothing and just about everything for the outdoors? Log on and shop 24/7 with super fast shipping. MidwayUSA.com.
And the leaves were falling, and it looked like fall. And I'm just like, dude, I've never seen a fall. Like, this is what real fall looks like. And then I brought my buddy Gabe Foley down here, and he drove up with me to Nebraska on an antelope hunt, and he's from Ohio. And I remember he came down here, and it was 104 when he landed, and he got off the plane, and we went to shoot my bow before we left at like 3 p.m. And he was like, dude, I can't do it. He's like, I can't do it. I got to get back in the truck. He's like, I can't do it. And I was like, dude, this is just every day down here. Like, it's just hot.
I couldn't live with that. I mean, my thing is like even you even talking about that, like how is that even comfortable come hunting season? Like what are you really hunting in? Like what does a rut look like for you?
Oh, dude, there's a lot of like throughout October, if you see 60s, like we'd call that like a cold front. Like that'd be a cold front. Yeah, like that wouldn't be a norm. Like that would be like a cold front. So there's a lot of days in October where it's low 90s, 85 degrees, and like the lows are like 71, 69, and so like what would be maybe your highs is like our lows, like probably a 20-degree average shift down here. And so like there's a lot of times we have an annual rotation we do in the first week in November, and there's a lot of times where it's still 80 degrees, high 70s, and it's just I don't know. You'd like to think that like the rut trumps everything, and like in some sense it does. But if I like to think if a buck has to kill himself when it's almost 90 degrees to go chase a doe, then maybe unless she's like really in, he might not do it. So I just feel like it suppresses a lot of the movement. But what it does do is when we do get a cold front, it's so starkly different. Like those temperatures, if the lows were in the high 60s and they go to the 40s, it's just like it's hot. Like it just turns on because we don't get a bunch of that. And in December and stuff it's cold, but yeah, I would say most of November it's not super cold down here.
Is your
So
rut still in that November time?
Yeah, I would say like our peak rut is probably like November 7th through like I don't know, probably the 20th, something like that.
So that's virtually the same thing that we pray for is those days. I mean, the November 7th that's a super killer day for big bucks to die all the way through the 11th. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like those are those serious chasing days of the rut. And but the difference is I'm hunting a high of 40 at that time of the year. You know what I'm saying? And then, you could be in the 20s by the end of that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe 30s, even a high of 30, 35, 40. Like, that's tremendous. And then you have those super cold nights. I mean, we look forward to those. I couldn't imagine a November in the 70s. Like, I would lose my mind.
Oh, it's ridiculous. There was one year we were hunting public pretty hard, so we hunted it like we're hunting down in the mountains in eastern Oklahoma, and we were hunting like every weekend through October and up to November. And I went like 0 for 12 in a row of like my sits, and I didn't see a single deer. And like I knew they were good spots, like they're historically good spots and they're good rut spots, but it's when it's 80 degrees, you're not seeing a whole lot of deer movement. And if it's right at daylight and right at dark. And so I'm like, well, I'm all freaking hunted out. I've went 0 for 12 the last month on these sits, and then I come back, and then I think that year was like 2021, and I ended up shooting a buck the first day of November. But I'm just like, God, dude, like, not that you write October off, but like when you are praying for an October cold front, because it can really, really turn it on, especially for mature bucks. So we just don't have that stark difference. But when it happens, I would say it's a lot more significant. Like your deer, if 30 degrees, 50 degrees all the time, if it goes to 25, it's probably not that different for them. But when ours goes from a low of 65 to 40, it's a big difference.
Yeah, and I would say that's the same here. If you get in like right now is in that 75 high, and then when you start to see that 50 high during the day, it's gonna be tremendously different. And I think that I know I'm kind of bouncing around here, but like October, say those last couple weeks of October that you were just talking about, like those are those sought after days that I personally like to hunt because those scrapes start to, really start to hit and get heavy. I like to travel those days. But the thing is, like you just said, it's a hit or miss world. Like it can be super warm, or you could have that cold front in those October days where it can be super fire.
Oh, dude. Yeah. That's why if it's past October, like for us, even the 10th, like past October 10th, and there's a cold front that drops more than like 15 degrees, like I'm like a pig in crap. But I'm like, dude, it's going to happen. Because you got to think that the deer have been waiting for 100 days through the summer to like feel a cold day. And when they first feel that, they're like, yeah, dude, I'm getting up. I'm going to smash a scrape. I'm going to go cruise, a travel corridor or whatever. And so it just makes those days, since they're so few and far between, it just makes them super special. Like, killed a good amount of bucks on October cold fronts. So I love to hunt those days.
And there, but the thing is, in some of the negatives though, like if you're planning a hunting trip, so like myself, I love Ohio. I fell in love with Ohio. Ohio's one of my favorite places to hunt. And it was one of those things I went on a whim, right? And I'd go the last week of October, first week of November, because you always could potentially catch it. One year done very well there, and it was super cold, killed one of my biggest bucks there. And then the next October I go there, and it's 75 degrees and no movement at all. And I think it's one of those hit or miss moments, and it's scary because especially when you're trying to travel somewhere to go hunt and something like that happens, like what do you do? Like what is your target at that point? Like what are you trying to find to make that hunt worthy, right?
Yeah, I hate not that I hate hunting hard, but I hate putting like hard dates in the calendar, especially because I've kind of set my life up in a way, and I've always tried to do like jobs that are a little more flexible in a sense. So it's like if the cold front is actually Tuesday through Friday and not very rarely do they fall when I want, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's usually like Monday or Wednesday or something. So I try to be flexible because like I feel like you can be a lot more efficient if you hunt the right days instead of hunting super, super hard. And I've tried it both ways. And the reality for me is like, and Jake and too, is like we try to do a good amount of Western hunting too throughout the year. So it's like you only have so many hard days that you can devote to it. And I just try to make sure to make them count. Like I'm down to, if there's a good cold front for 4 days, I'm down to sit it. But those hunting October 1st, 2nd, 3rd out on public when it's 92 degrees high, 95 high, I don't know if that's my jam anymore. And it definitely used to be.
Yeah, and because you want to get it in when you can, right? And like you just you hunt as hard as you can, and sometimes you leak yourself out. It's like shed season for me, and like you want to hit it real hard. A couple of bucks are losing their antlers, and you want to search real hard for antlers, and then you kind of burn yourself out because you did so many miles. Then when it comes into that February time and all the antlers are on the ground, you're like, well, I already went there. I already walked that piece, and then you just don't go in there and hunt it. But I think it's the other thing, going back on what you were saying as far as like those dates and being flexible. My life has changed tremendously when it was used to where I had that flexibility, and I never really understood it because everybody else was like, oh, I have to hunt these hard dates. Like I have to take off November 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are my days that I'm able to have off, where I was like, well, I'm going to leave when the cold front's coming. And then cause I could. Yep. And I never really understood it until now, when you have to pick and choose your days and pick them wisely and just hope that it's not a washout, or it's not. And it's tough for a lot of people that are those not weekend, I don't want to call them weekend warriors, but those guys that have those 9-to-5 jobs. It's tough for them to set on and find the right times to go and do something because they're not flexible in what they do.
Oh, dude, do you know how many times I've hunted like November 1st through the 7th, and on the 7th, here comes the cold front that I've been waiting for the entire like first 5 weeks of season. And I like high five guys that I know as I'm leaving the public, and they're coming and they're texting me the entire time. Like, dude, I just had $3 chasing one doe. This is insane. I'm like, I'm so glad that I went and hunted hard for a week. And like, I've used all my relational equity with my wife, and like, she's covering my bases back here. And like, I've just, blew my wad for another, like work, not having a good word for it, like blew my wad. And so I like to think about that a lot now, is like when you're super young, like when I was in my early and mid 20s and like it was just me and my wife, like I'd be like, well, I'll hunt that. And then if it turns on, I'll come back and I'll hunt it again, and I'll hunt this weekend and the next weekend and the next weekend and the next weekend. And the reality is life never really slows down. It only gets more complicated. And so which sucks, because if I had it my way, I would probably just do both. Be like, dude, I'm gonna hunt the best times and I'm gonna hunt all the time. Right. But I realize that that's not something sustainable for me. It is if I want to be single, but not if I want to be married.
Well, think about this too, and it's kind of funny, and I know, and it's when it comes to it, you have to make that commitment to ones at home. So you're not only trying to hunt a cold front, but you're also trying to balance what's going on at home. And that's a tough thing, man. And there's a lot of people in this industry, and I understand why, that are divorced or single because of this. Because when you, like yourself, travel a ton, you just got back from Canada. So what are you going to do? Come back and tell your wife that you're going to Arkansas? Like, what are you going to do?
Cold front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's not reality anymore. You have to pick and choose your days. And do you find that now that you're starting to get older that, like, you're not hunting as much early season, you're more trying to focus on those hard days to chase whitetails?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've kind of shifted my focus you can hunt whitetails, I think, as early as like late August and like in certain parts of, I think, Tennessee and then South Carolina and stuff. And I've kind of found myself a little tempted to like go kind of chase the velvet and do that sort of thing. But for me, I want to do the North American Super Slam. So I'm on number 5 now animals for that. And so I've kind of just taken that early season whitetail grind that I used to spend in like Kansas or Nebraska or somewhere else. And I've just shifted that to hunting Western stuff. So like this year we went to Kodiak Island and we went to Alberta. And so I've just kind of plugged in those early season whitetail dates. And then I'm like, hey, because it can be a grind in that early season. And it's so hot. And especially in like the first part of October, in September in the Midwest, like you got beans, you got like standing beans, and there's other stuff that you can kind of play off of. So there's that movement, the deer and velvet. It's kind of interesting and fun. But I've shifted to like, I'm definitely a second half of October into November kind of hunter. Like I think my whitetail season probably ends November 20th. Like as soon as the rifle season starts to kind of usher in Oklahoma, I'm not hunting it nearly as much. And I also there was 2 years in a row where I shot a buck on October 1st each time, like opening day. And that was super cool. So if I have a nice buck patterned, I absolutely will, but it's not one of those things where like, it's kind of a dance, right? You got to know when to gas, you got to know when to break. And I kind of only through being an idiot have I learned when to gas and when to break. There was that what story I was telling you earlier. We hunted every single weekend in October, and these are like 3-day weekends, so like 12 days in October. There was one time where I was driving home, and I got so tired that I made it an hour from my house, and it was like a 6-hour drive because I don't really have any permission down there in Texas, so I really go up to Oklahoma the majority of the time to hunt. And I was driving home, and I started to hallucinate. Like I started seeing cars and people running across the road, and I'm like, oh, what the I started like kind of herking and jerking, and I'm like on the phone with my wife. I'm like, I'm like seeing flashes come across the road that like aren't there, and like brake lights are freaking me out. And like I had to stop and get a hotel an hour from my house, and it was like $120 a night. And I stopped and I slept, and I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, dude, you have to stop doing this. This is not realistic.
It's not healthy.
You have to stop doing this. And I hate talking to my friends because I've got friends from like other places, meeting a new one today from the East Coast. And so I'm the guy that like when someone texts me and they're like, hey, we have this opportunity. I'm like, I say yes in my mind already. And I'm like, okay, so now I got to find a reason to say no. Like I'm already in my mind. I'm already committed to it.
You're already going.
And so I know that like, that's a bad habit that I have. And there's been times in my life where I've put deer hunting way above like everything else, my relationship with God, my wife, everything. And so that's the only way that I've learned. So to answer your question, looping all the way back around, I definitely try to like pick my days for deer hunting, like late October, and then November for sure.
And you have to pick those days and pick them properly. And I never really understood it growing up, right? Because I always had a job where I was guiding during fishing season. Fishing season would end here because going into those seasons, we have the winter and we wouldn't have those. So then I would hunt for a couple months, and then I would work construction for the rest of it. And I'll tell you what is I could pick and choose. I can hunt every day. I would go 3-4 weeks in another state, or I would travel or do whatever, hunt whatever, ducks, geese, whatever, travel around and shoot whatever. And then I had a lot of older friends or mentors, and they wouldn't start deer hunting until the end of October, November. Like, they wouldn't get after it, and I never really understood it. I'm like, dude, early seasons are great. You could pattern them. You could do this, that. You know, like shooting 3-4 deer before anything even really kicked off. And I never really understood it until I started to get older and have responsibilities and a real 9 to 5, and I'm like, oh, that's why they do that, or that's why they take 1 week window near Thanksgiving or whatever the case may be. But you go too hard at a young age. And I wish, too, at a younger age, I knew what I knew now. So I went that hard back then, but then had the education that I have now, because I feel as if I would be so much better.
Oh, that was my problem, and probably the majority of people that are young that go hard's problem is like, I had to go hard because I didn't know anything. Like I just tried to make up for not knowing anything for like with just pure number of days, like law of averages. Okay, I suck, but if I suck for 40 days, what are the odds that something that I don't want to shoot walks by me? And like I can lower my standards enough to where if those two things start to line up, right? 40 days, how can I shoot a 110? Probably 115. Probably 120. Okay, that's probably about where I can expect if I hunt this many days and I don't know anything. So you also learn more, and then you're like, okay, I don't have to hunt that hard. I can hunt a lot smarter than that. And and now I'm doing it on the western side. Like I'm traveling to western hunt, and I'm like, I need more days because I don't know anything. Like I can't go out here and just be successful like someone who can go kill an elk in 3 days. I don't know. I don't have those skills. So it's almost like I'm kind of going full circle again and restarting. It's kind of this violent repeating process. But yeah, man, I definitely don't miss that a whole lot, because now I got a little baby, and I enjoy spending time with him. We've spent a lot of time away the last month and a half, and like so I don't mind waiting until late October this year.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you said, going so hard, you just push yourself to a whole nother limit. I had a scenario that had happened quite a handful of years ago, and I was huge into the whole fishing side. Like, that was my favorite thing. We would chase 50-pound striped bass. Like, that was the way to do. It was all I did.
Saltwater or freshwater?
Saltwater.
Okay.
So we have one of the biggest migrations of saltwater striped bass here in the world. Actually, we probably have one of the best migrations there is. I ate up in it, and like I would charter during the day, and then I would personally fish at night. And like you were saying, you're driving home and you're hallucinating. I literally was about 600 yards from my front door and crashed my truck with my boat on the back of it and sent it over the top of my truck, and just raw stupidity, going too hard, young and dumb, and you end up. I crashed literally in my front lawn. I hit the stone wall and I fell asleep. It's just the way it goes, and you just go too hard because you're just so into. You're just like it's addiction. It's better than any drug in the world. You just have to do it.
Oh, I have it. I have it bad. Like, not that I have a super addictive personality, like in terms of like alcohol or anything else. Like, it's not really my thing. But like for hunting, it's just I've talked to my wife about it. Is like there's two versions of me. There's like this version, and then there's like this other version who like could be a hermit and could like, there's part of me that envies people like Remy Warren, who's like, dude, I spend 300 days out of 365 a year. And there's part of me that's like, oh my God, I want that. And then I spend a month away in 6 weeks, and I'm like, no, I don't, but dude, it's so easy to get wrapped into that and just make it an idol. And that's the thing that keeps going back to me. One of my counselors told me once is like, our hearts are like idol factories. So like, we'll take anything and make it something bigger than God or bigger than our family, bigger than the priorities that we should have. And so I've tried to be honest and like kind of put myself back in check, because and it's easier when you've had a little bit of success over a few years to like do that. But like when you're trying to go get something and maybe go be somebody, it's one of the things that really set it in perspective for me was like, I had this view of kind of like the content world, and this is like being young and immature, is like, the more that I do, the more people will care. The more success you have, the more people will care. And I shot 4 bucks in 1 year, and it was like a 148, a 141, a 140, and a 127 with my recurve. And I'm like, it's not, no one cared any more that year than the year that I didn't kill anything. And I'm like, oh, like I shouldn't do this for anybody else but me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've kind of refocused it back on that. Like, well, what do I want to do? If I don't want to go this weekend, I'm not going to go. Right. Whereas before it's like, well, I'm not going to go ahead and be somebody. And just realize that apart from like 3 friends, nobody else cares. So like, just do it for the right reasons.
So
Don't make it an idol.
I love the fact that you just brought that up. I had this discussion earlier with a very good friend of mine, content creator himself, a very good one at that, and he had actually literally just moved to Ohio, went to film school, the whole 9 yards, like very big into it. And we were having a conversation, and opening weekend for him is coming up this weekend, and he was like, I don't even know if I want to carry the camera. And I'm like, why? Like, why? And he's like, because I want to go out and enjoy it and have fun with it. Like, nobody really cares. Like, if I don't post anything, it doesn't matter. If I make a reel, that's cool. If it don't, I don't. And I totally agree with that 100%. That's my beliefs. And it's like when we started to make the podcast here, we thought that full throttle, you have to do everything. You do a podcast a week. You have to do content. Everybody cares what you're doing. You have to post a post every single day on Instagram. It really matters. Nobody cares. If I post it once a week or once a day, it gets the same traction, the same amount of people care. And the ones that do care, they reach out to you and congratulate you anyways, and it doesn't change anything. Like, you're just killing yourself for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I've done it. So I'm a bad example for that. Is like, I'm kind of a volume person. Like, the more you do, the better it'll be. And that's not necessarily the case. Like, you can stack up antlers like wood, and if it doesn't mean anything to you, it doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of brought a little bit of that purity back into it for me. It's like, I'm hunting for me, and because I want to do this, and I kind of take it in the perspective of like, now I can honestly say, like, well, if you took the camera away, you took the podcast away, you did everything, what would you be doing? And now I'm like, I'd be here. I'd be in Canada trying to shoot an elk. I'd be trying to go shoot a deer, and none of it would change. Whereas maybe before it'd be a little bit different, but I think that's just getting older and kind of maturing and those sort of things.
Do you think that there was a moment in your life that you realized all of that? Like, when you were maybe trying to make too much content or do too much or have too many podcasts, that kind of like it struck a chord with you to be like, I just need to do this for what I am because I'm losing my passion for it?
Yeah, there was a time during, and I don't know exactly what year it was. I think it was probably 21 or 22, where it was like that TikTok phase, and where it's like anything you threw at the wall kind of went crazy. So it's like more. There was one point where we were doing like 3 a day. And first of all, there's not that many interesting things to talk about for 3 a day. So like, you're like throwing things at the wall, you know? And there was a time where we would do like 2 podcasts a week. And I think there's a place for that too. But the thing now is like, what we're going for at least is like consistent and sustainable. Like, what is the schedule? Like once a week, probably similar to what you guys do, is like, I'm going to do it once a week, which is sustainable for me and also consistent for people that possibly want to tune in and listen. And so like, man, it's just like, you can really have too much of a good thing too. If you enjoy the podcast, cool. But if you do it 4 times a week, you may not enjoy it as much. And I always heard a funny thing by Dave Ramsey used to say, and he's like, if you eat enough lobster, it tastes like soap. And it's just like too much of if you should go out and shoot 1,550 inch bucks this year, by the end of it, you're like, throw in the pile. You know, it's another one. Like, so I think you have too much of a good thing.
I couldn't agree with that more. And you kind of get sucked into that life. Like, I've said it 1,000,001 times on the podcast. Like, there was a time where we had, we wanted to grow to this, or I say we, but I thought I had this big envision, right, for what it could be and all of the things that we could do. And I just loved it and was ate up in it. And it was just the greatest thing in the world, and filming and content and the whole 9 yards, and killed a big buck on film and then killed another good deer on film, like constantly. And I loved it for myself. And then you would put it out there. But then when you had those moments that you find yourself constantly trying harder than you actually would to try and get content, and you're getting mad at yourself, and then you're getting mad at the ones around you because they're not creating content because they're part of it. Because at one time we had 5 or 6 guys that were, filming and killing deer and tons of them, and like it was a blast and it was fun, but there was a point that it became too much and it was more aggravating than it was anything. And there was this one moment, it was like this, I don't know, I was in a tree stand and God must have said to me, and showed me that like, you don't need this anymore. Like, this is not you. This is not what it was. And I remember like it was yesterday. My phone rang. November 7th, cold front, 20-degree difference. And my father texted me he had shot a deer. And he didn't have anybody to help him drag. I mean, I'm the guy. Like, it's me. And I'm like, dude, it's November 7th. This buck showed up 3 days in a row. Like, cold front. Like, moon's perfect. Wind's perfect. This deer's going to die. And I was like, Dad, I can't help you, dude. Like, I'm killing a big deer. And I hung up that phone, and just something in my mind was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I just started to, like, there wasn't even a thought in my mind. I just started packing up my camera gear. And I got down the tree because I realized there's a November 7th in the future, and my dad's not going to be around, and I need to stop doing what I'm doing, and I need to hunt with the ones I love and not worry about this stupid camera. And it's changed my life, dude. Like, doing it totally different and bringing the podcast and not too much creation, right? Like, you get so ate up in this, dude, because you love it and you think that somebody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Besides you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, I resonate with that a bunch. I think that's a good word, a good message to a lot of people. There were a lot of times where, like I said, we would hunt really, really hard. And the idea of like, we have a group that we go and we hunt with, and especially we hunt in the mountains together. And it's like me and my uncle and, a couple buddies, and sometimes our brothers will come, and sometimes the other people's kids will come. And so we have this group. It could be like, anywhere from 5 to 10 people. And when used to be, if like someone shot a deer, I'm like, sweet, I'll see you at dark, or or look for it tomorrow morning or whenever. And now when we go back and we're eating lunch and someone's like, I shot a deer, I'm like, we're not hunting this evening,
right,
until we find this deer.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, dude, there's one video on our channel where my uncle shoots a deer and we bring in a tracking dog, and there's 11 people on the track. That's awesome. We walk by. So like, my uncle never used a dog before. So like, where the deer was, he shoots the deer, and let's just say it runs this way. Well, we come in and we walk directly up the trail, back up to his tree. He knows nothing about scent controlling because he never used one before.
Right.
And the tracker's like, all right, where did the deer run? He's like, oh, where we all just walked. And he's like, we just walked 11 people over the trail of where the deer walked. And he's like, yes. And he's like, do you know how hard that is for the dog to work through? And he's like, I had no idea. I thought they were on blood. I didn't know it had anything to do with, the interdigital gland or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that dog tracks that deer, and like, there's no hope. And dude, there's scent pooling all over the place. And like, that dog is just whiplash because there's so many different people in there. And it eventually works its way down a track and like juts off in another direction. And in like 100 yards, the deer's just dead there. And there's a picture of like 10 of us like behind that one deer. And I'm like, man, what was more important? Like, could we have all went out and hunted again and maybe shot one more deer and stacked one up? Yeah, but like, we can't recreate that moment.
Mm-mm.
We can't make that happen again. We can't. And like, that's the thing when I'm sitting in bed on July 20th, like I'm scrolling through my camera roll and I'm like, oh my God, look at that. That was freaking awesome. Because I know that those people and everyone that's in that group knows that those people do the exact same thing for them. And so it's just that sense of like, it's not only what you're doing, it's who you're doing it with. And if you got a good group of people that you do it with, like, hold on to that, because hunting is a really, really selfish sport. And especially deer hunting. It's very exclusive and it's very individualistic if you want to be good at it. But man, it is fun to share it with people. And if you keep it in the right context, it can be even more fulfilling. Cause like now it's like when someone in that group shoots a deer, it's like I shot it, it's like the next guy shot it. So I agree with you though. Like, it's very hard to get those. You can't get those moments back.
No, you definitely can't. And I think, growing up,
hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help. at midwayusa.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to midwayusa.com. Midway USA has a huge selection of rifle scopes, plus all the necessary scope rings, bases, mounts, and scope mounting tools to get you on target quickly. We've also got shotgun scopes, pistol scopes, red dot sights, and night vision and thermal imaging optics to serve a variety of different applications. Our offering of weapon lights and laser sights supports a variety of self-defense and target scenarios. Hunters and long-range shooters will appreciate our wide selection of binoculars, rangefinders, and spotting scopes from all of the top brands. For just about everything for shooting, shop midwayusa.com.
Bow hunting all comes down to a moment. And in the moment, you want equipment on your bow that will get the job done. Trophy Ridge products are the tools bow hunters trust. React technology sights, rests, stabilizers, and quivers to help a bow hunter be successful in the field. And those tools are from Trophy Ridge.
And I know, like, New England based here, like, deer camp is a huge thing. Like, we have deer camps in the woods, you know, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, like, that's a huge thing. It's a group hunting thing, deer drives, just deer camp, and it's just a group setting. Like, my whole life growing up, we'd go out and there'd be 7 guys on public land, and we'd sit on a rock till noon, and then we'd go and get lunch, and then we would all go back out again, and, like, it was a big group setting. And then as I started to transition to that trophy hunting, it became very selfish, and it you don't have that. We talk about it a ton, where like during November we would get 1 million phone calls to come and track deer, and now I'm like, I ain't coming to help you, bro. It ain't happen. No, I gotta get up in the morning. There's no way, And you try to, I lost that. I don't have that outlook anymore. I don't really care. I would rather go track a deer and spend time with somebody who shot a monster deer than to selfishly go and try and shoot my own, because I don't think that the camaraderie is more important than doing it yourself, right? And then when you're with those people, it's memories you're never gonna get again. You'll die without them, to be honest, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Oh, I genuinely, I kind of feel bad for people that don't have other people to hunt with, or there's some people that slam giants, but they don't have anybody to talk to it about, or they don't have anyone to help them recover it. And I'm like, man, dude, I don't know if it's gaining the whole world and losing your soul, but it's like it's gaining a big buck and not having a friend, and that sucks. Like I enjoy, even though it might disrupt and take down opportunity for one person. Like to me, it's fun to have 2 people on a lease. Yeah. It's fun to have other people on it, just because it's like we're sharing trail camera photos back and forth. I'm like, what do you think that deer is? You think he's 150? I think he's 147. I don't think there's no way that. And like why don't you shoot him and we'll find out? And so like there's just a bunch of that stuff, and like that's what makes it so special, is the people that you're doing it with, and like that's one of the things that's been, I feel super blessed by, is like God's put a bunch of people in my life that love what I love too, and so it makes it super easy. And if you kind of take the ego and the selfishness out of it, then it's fun. It makes deer hunting fun again. It really does. Unless your neighbor shoots one, then like piss on him. That sucks. But
no,
he's not a friend. He's a foe.
Yeah, but the thing too is you almost, and I always think in the back of my mind, like no matter who it is who shoots it, even if it is a neighbor, like you congratulate them. There's so many other deer out there, and like that, I believe in that karma thing. Like being jealous and upset because somebody shot a big deer. I know deep down inside I still have that feeling, but I try not to let it out, because like I want to congratulate anybody who shoots a deer, or even if my target deer gets shot, like I want to congratulate that person. I want to be part of that. I want to help hold that deer or measure that deer or whatever, because there's that's good for that person. Like that they worked just as hard as you did. You just sucked at it this year. Like it is what it is. Like it's part of the game, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. Like there's been a few times where it's like, man, is there a deer big enough for running a relationship over? And it's like, I haven't found one yet, but I also haven't had a booner that I'm like, oh no, you're off the lease this year. I gotta shoot this one. But thank God I've never been tempted in that way.
Christian, you probably just don't have that personality, because I feel as if that there's some people out here in this world, and I say it all the time, is like, It's football. Football is a group sport. You always have somebody to keep you in a check. Soccer is a group sport. Any type of sport that's a team sport, you have someone to keep you in those checks and balances. In hunting, there's nobody in the checks and balances. Those people have this ego that is bigger than them. It's bigger than life. That they're so jealous and so upset, and they think that they're the absolute best. If you told them there was a 120 on your lease, they're going to come and try and shoot it. Like, they don't care. You know what I mean? But it's true, man. Like, those people, like, there is a ton of people out there have had those friends that they don't care. That buck means more to them than that friendship, that camaraderie, and cherishing it with you. Like, because there's no checks and balances to tell them no. Like, they can just do it on their own, and they are the best, and they want to kill that deer. You know, and it's sad. And I think that's a big thing with social media that's kind of upsetting me, or YouTube or whatever. There's always somebody on there telling you that you suck at something, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. But who's to tell that they're the best? I don't get it. I don't understand. I never understood it, man. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't think hunting is one of those things that is I don't think it's something that you can measure and say like this person is better than that person, because there's no control. Like, there's no controlled variable in any of it. Like, there's people that couldn't hunt their way out of a wet paper sack that are going to kill a booner every year because they have fantastic place to go. And there's somebody that, like, dude, the people that like worry me a bunch are the people that go out and slam a 130 every year on public. I'm like, dude, if that guy ever had an opportunity worth a damn, he'd probably be slamming giants, you know? And
if he had a good lease.
It's just not one of those things that I think you can say like, oh, I'm better than you at, or this person is better at this. And like, I don't know. I think that, I don't know. I think that's kind of distasteful to me too.
Do you think that if they did have a category of somebody that was like a really good hunter or the best hunter, do you think that he would not be a whitetail hunter?
Dude, I don't know. Some of the best deer hunters and hunters in general that I know are turkey people.
Really?
Yeah, like one of my best friends is a really, really good turkey hunter, and he just has like a level of like, it's like woodsmanship and patience that like I don't necessarily have, because like turkeys can see really good.
Yeah.
And so like just the way he kind of traversed the woods and like walked, and like also another thing that he does a bunch, and I don't know if it's necessarily just attributing to like turkey hunting, but like wakes up every day and treats it like day one. And I think if people could do that, they would be very well served, because like normally the weight of crappy hunting kind of weighs on you, and by day 3 you're like, well, I'm not gonna go out this morning. Or by day 6, well, I know I'm supposed to be here 8 days, but I'm gonna leave on 6. And so like if what he does is he wakes up every day and like, it's like, well, it's day 1, didn't happen yesterday, 1 no closer to a yes. And that attitude, I'm like, dude, if you wake up every day like renewed, you can, dude, it's gonna happen. Like, we were hunting turkeys in Mississippi one time, and I'm like, it's like spring break, we drove all the way over there, like hunting's okay at that point, and it's like 3:45 in the morning, alarm goes off, and I'm like, no, please God, no, I do not want to get up and do this. And he's just like the Undertaker out of a coffin, just it's like, hey, didn't happen yesterday, today's the day. I'm like, dude, you're making me want to think today's the day, you know? And so I don't know if it's like a species thing, but that's one of the people that I think it's really hard to stop people that have that attitude, like that it's day 1.
I genuinely love that. I think that's the greatest thing that I've ever heard. Honestly, that's the right attitude to have, because you're right. You get so dragged on, especially on a 5-day hunt. By day 3, you're not going to want to make it happen. You're so drained. You're like, this sucks, whatever. To have that type of attitude, I think he would be up there in the contenders of the best hunters in the world. Like,
dude, it's a weird trait. Like, I'm kind of a natural like pessimist in a sense of like, well, what's the reasons it's not going to happen? And he's kind of like turned me in a lot of ways to an optimist. Well, it's like, well, look, we're going to go anyways. We're already here.
Right.
We're going to go hard. Why have a shitty attitude while you're doing that?
It's true.
Like, what's the point? It's like, you're going to do it anyway. So you're going to do it begrudgingly, or you're going to do it like, And I think you hunt different when you think that way. Like, no, today's the day. Like, if I can get to this point and I can go to this spot because of these reasons, it's going to happen. And I've tried to develop that attitude. Like I had, and I don't get as upset anymore when things don't go right. Cause I'm like, well, tomorrow's the day then. If it wasn't today, it's tomorrow. And if it's not the end of this season, it's next. If it's not that one, it's the next. And like, if you can expand your timeline long enough, like it's probably going to happen for you and you might be pumped up. But I think, waking up every day and just like treating it like day one, like, dude, because think about day one. Think about the enthusiasm you have on day one. Like you'll drive 20 hours and like wake up after 3 hours of sleep and be like, dude, let's pound it. And you don't have that same enthusiasm day 2. Day 3, you definitely don't. Day 4, you definitely don't. But being around people that do that, and my uncle's the same way, who was one of the people that taught me to hunt, my uncle and my dad, like he's kind of happy-go-lucky, kind of got this just like, I'm taking it serious when it's crunch time, I'm serious, but like kind of up until crunch time, I'm not taking it too serious. Like it's kind of nonchalant. It's kind of just happening to me, kind of just moving with the flow. And he's like that. I'm like, dude, we haven't seen anything in 5 days. Like, Justin, you think today is the day. It's the same things as the last 5 days. What makes today any different than, and he's like, well, today could be the day. Why not this morning? Why not this evening? And he has that attitude. And like, I've walked up on him before. He called me. He's on public. This morning I hunted the wrong wind on this ridge. I was hunting, it's basically just this big drainage. There's a bunch of those in the mountains, just like rocky, like wet weather creeks. And I'm hunting it. And I set up my saddle because I'd seen a doe just in this big hayfield. And I'm like, I'm gonna set up that direction because like a buck could come from that way. It's like November, it's the rut. And I'm just sitting, I hear behind me at like 9:30 in the morning, I just hear, I'm like, what the frick was that? I turn around and I just see like a caramel horn, probably 17-inch wide, mid 130s, 8, just running away. I'm like, frick. And I just sat there and laughed because I'm like, he winded me. He came from completely behind me. And my uncle called me. He's like, I shot a doe. I'm like, you shot a doe? He's like, yeah, come help me drag it out. I'm like, I said, you got Jordan with you. You freaking drag it out. It's like, I don't need to come help you for a doe. And he's like, well, you're going to want to see it. I'm like, okay. We drove all the way to the other part of this area. He shot a 165 with triple flyers on each G2. And he was like, not a bad doe, huh? And I'm like, dude, you got the attitude for it. Good on you.
It.
Yeah, slammed a 165, 16 point. Frick yeah, dude. That's awesome. But I feel like that, like you said, that kind of that karma, dude, I feel like that energy, it like comes back to you in a way. It's like what you put out there is what comes back towards you. And doesn't mean it's always going to go right.
Right.
Like I wounded an elk a week and a half ago or whatever, didn't find it. Like I had a good attitude about it. Doesn't mean I'm going to bring it home, but dude, it just makes it so much more enjoyable if you have that attitude. Because I think there's a lot of people out there that are very miserable doing what they love,
Well, it's the same. Okay, it goes to show, and you see this all the time, even in our realm and the podcast realm. People, they do what they love, but they're not having any fun while doing it. I don't understand that. Like, it's like a job to them to record podcasts. I never understood that. But when you have the right attitude and you just have fun and you just enjoy it and you're positive, like good things will happen. Like, cause it could never be, it's a glass half full, not glass half empty. If you're negative going into it, of course you're going to have a shitty time. If you have a positive attitude, you're going to have a good time anyways. You'll be like, oh, well, if I see a deer, it'd be great. If I find a shed, if I kill a turkey, hear a turkey, cool, it'd be great. But if you think of it negative, then you're just going to have a negative outlook on everything. If you go and you talk crap about everybody that's around you, you're just going to be a negative person. Why do you want to be like that? It's not even fun.
Oh, I'm probably the most negative turkey hunter you'll ever meet in your life. Cause like, I'm not good at it. We didn't grow up with them. Like, just not super experienced. And I got back super early one time. We went on a bachelor trip and we were hunting them in Wyoming. And I don't know crap about turkeys. Like, I'm just getting my butt kicked in. They're all over on private. I'm like, piss on them. So I go back to the truck and I like take a nap. We're sitting there at camp and 3 other guys are sitting at camp. And I'm like, where's Jake? This is my other, not Jake, my co-host, different Jake, other buddy. I have like 5 friends named Jake. And like, he's still hunting. And I'm like, He's wasting his time. I'm like, wasting his time. I'm like, those birds are pressured. They're on private, whatever. And so I take a nap. I wake up and I was like, I walked over to him. I'm like, wasting your time, huh? He's sitting there on a cooler, smoking a cigar. And he just reaches to the right side of the cooler and just pulls up a bird. And he's like, nope. He just sets it back down. I'm like, frick. Like, I should have been hunting this morning. I should have kept hunting this morning. Like, but that's the thing. Day one, that dude, if you, he just kind of got a little bit different mentality. I've trying to let that some of that rub off on me, just not in the turkey woods. I just don't have the go-get to get after the turkeys. Don't.
So one of the things that we live by is a killer's going to kill. And like that's like a slogan that we've had forever, and it's just one of those things is if you're a killer, you're going to figure out how to kill. If it's raining, you're going to hunt, you're going to go figure out how to kill. If it's a crappy day, you're going to go out, you're going to kill. If there's not turkeys around, you're going to find out where they are. If you're traveling and you're hunting, even if it's a warm front, you're going to find out, you're going to find where the deer are, and you're going to kill. Like, killer's going to kill.
Yeah.
Just keep prevailing forward, keep working hard, stay positive. Because when you start to get negative, you're not going to succeed. Stay positive and go out there and make it happen. And that's, if you live by that, you will find success. I swear. Like, it's just the way that it goes. Like, I used to be that negative person. You'd be halfway across the country and you're like, dude, this ain't going to happen. It's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to rain for the next 2 days. It's 20 degrees hotter than it was supposed to be. This is crap. I don't want to hunt. And you're not going to kill anything if you don't hunt. So you just got to go out there and just make it happen. The turkey are a tough thing though, dude. You can't let them get you down. You got to get after them. Like anything could happen.
Yeah. I don't have so down here in Texas, I don't have a place to hunt them.
Yeah.
And it's hard for, I spend so much time in the, August to December timeframe, like gone and hunting and stuff. And so I'm like, dude, I told my buddy, I'm like, I can't pick up this hobby too, because like if I pick up this hobby, I'm going to be gone all the time.
So do you think that it's like the elk though? Do you think elk and turkey are in the same realm? Everybody talks about that and how elk and turkey are the same type of hunting.
Man, the vocalization makes them super unique. Like I think they share that for sure. I don't know. So what makes things really interesting to me is the uniqueness. And to me, it feels like turkeys lack uniqueness. Like if they have a 7-inch beard or a 10-inch beard, it's like, oh, nice. It's like super cool. And and you're trying to find things that are different. Like, oh, this one's got a longer snoot or better spurs. And so I just don't think I have nearly as much of like an affinity or like an appreciation for them because I didn't grow up around them.
Right.
And it wasn't really an option to hunt them where we were at very much. And so, but I think elk and turkey are similar in the vocalizations, but like, dude, something coming up that's 800 pounds that's got freaking horns the size of your arms. Like, vocalization is pretty much where those commonalities stop in my mind. But it makes it's a unique style of hunting because you're chasing something that's talking back to you.
Right.
And that just makes it so much, it's like a dance. Like, it's like oh, he went left, I'm going to go left. Or he went right, I'm going to go left. And it's like a dance. Like, it's like boxing, like the sweet science, you got to know when to zig and zag. And I love that part. And I honestly love that about turkeys too.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never been, I don't have a good sense of like, okay, that gobbled. Was that 75 yards? Was that 180 yards? Was that 400 yards? And so like with Merriam's, when we were out in Wyoming, they would gobble and I'm like, dude, they're on top of me, sit down. And like, I'd sit down and they'd gobble for 30 more minutes. I'm like, where are they? They're going to come over that hill at 50 at any time. And they never did. I'm like, okay, something's not right with this perception thing. So I think I have a dismay for turkeys because I suck at hunting them. And I can admit that.
Well, I think literally you talking about them bobbing and weaving, go left, go right. I would have thought you were the greatest turkey hunter in the world when you were talking about it, but you were actually talking about elk because I was like, he's literally talking turkey right now. Like, that's literally how it goes.
No, yeah, I do. I think some turkey hunters are some of the best woodsmen, and there's a lot you can take away from that. And I think there's probably a good turkey hunter would be as long as they can traverse the mountain, would probably be a pretty decent elk hunter just right off the bat.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's a different type of love, right? And I don't know. I've never really elk hunted before, so I don't know. But like when you're just that interaction, like you're saying, all those things that you just said, like that's what that driving force for me is in turkeys. Like, I love turkeys. I grew up around turkeys. This was my favorite thing to do. If you told me I could only hunt one thing for the rest of my life, it would definitely be a longbeard. No questions asked. Like, I guess it's the talk back and forth, watching them, the interaction, the talk about camaraderie. I can bring anybody turkey hunting. Like, I'll bring anybody and their brother turkey hunting to spend that time with them and teach them that and show them that and see them shake and watch them go through those steps. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. Turkey hunting, talking to them, like learning to just, kiki run on them or self yelp or whatever, and just like, oh, that bird doesn't want that, he's got that attitude, or this bird's got that. I guess, it's that kind of thing for me. And it's the same with deer, but the deer just don't listen back. Like, you can understand a deer and like what he likes to do in a food source. Is he an aggressive deer? Is he not an aggressive? The same things to learn that. I think that's the process. I love the process of all of that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps it fun.
And it fires me up with elk. For the turkeys, it's just, I promise you, if I would have grown up doing it, I would probably feel exactly the same way. But like, it just wasn't even an option. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna deer hunt and just go hunt other stuff. So
do you think that when you got into the Western hunting, that kind of lit a different type of fire to you that you may have lost in other types of hunting?
Oh, frick yeah. Oh, 100%. Because, dude, I've been kind of, burnout's not the right word, but just kind of sick of the way of the world in terms of the whitetail stuff. Like, I'm not anybody in the terms of like the outdoor industry or whatever, but I feel like I know a decent amount of people and struggle to find like private access. I've lived in Texas for like 6 years, and I don't have a single acre that I can hunt down here. And I know a decent amount of people, and it's just that part of it kind of ruined it for me, of like kind of people peacocking in a sense of like, oh, I shot this, so I'm that. And I'm like, dude, if I had your spot, I'd kill your deer. If you had my spot, you'd probably kill mine. And that's just the reality of kind of whitetail hunting in some sense. And like, there's some skill to it, no doubt, but I feel like we kind of got this whitetail thing somewhat beat to death from like a tips and a tactics perspective, and things are just honestly like regurgitated a lot.
Agreed.
A lot. And it's like, I don't have anything new to say, so I'm going to try to take what somebody else said and I'm going to try to put a new word to it or describe it in a different way. I'm like, that's the same thing, And so from that perspective, I think that got a little stale. Not that I just like quit hunting whitetails or anything. I didn't. And I still hunted them super hard, but like out west, there's so much diversity, and there's so many, the terrains are so different. And like over the next hill is just, you go into the next state and it's so different and unique and just what you haven't seen before. And you can take a lot of the whitetail hunting stuff, glassing, reading sign, moving, whatever, and take those tactics and apply them to that. So like, it kind of lit a fire under me, the diversity of things you could chase and the new landscapes and the new challenges. And also like, one of the things for me on the whitetail side was like, the experience hasn't really felt super wild in a while. Like, I'm going to go shoot this deer, then I'm going to go get Brahms, I'm going to get a burger and a shake, and then I'm going to go skin it, and then I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm going to wake up, sleep in this nice bed, and go do this again. And, well, I got a few hours between the hunt, let's go get Mexican food, and like that sort of thing. And that, to me, it's like almost fractionalized hunting. Whereas when you're Western hunting, or you're hunting off your back, or you're there, or you're in a place for a certain amount of time, it feels like a wild experience. Right. Like we went to Kodiak we're supposed to be there for like 6 days. We ended up staying on the island for like 9 days because our plane didn't get picked up, which was ridiculous. There was too high winds, and they swooped down like 10 foot above the water to pick us up, and just flew out of our lives for 3 more days. And we're like, what the? It was very wild. But that experience, I ended up shooting. Oh, I'll show you my Kodiak buck. Watch it. Look at this.
Yeah.
At Midway USA, we put customers first. The Nitro Express shipping system is icing on the cake. It was a big investment of time and money to take super fast, low-cost shipping to a whole new level. The Nitro Express helps ensure same-day shipping and low shipping costs. We hope you enjoy the Nitro Express. We built it just for you. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
I'm Larry Potterfield with Midway USA.
Thanks for your business.
Join us at a Friends of NRA event where freedom, fun, and firearms come together like nowhere else. With more than 600 events held across the country, there's always one happening near you. From exciting games to exclusive auctions featuring one-of-a-kind firearms and gear you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're a lifelong hunter, a competitive shooter, or simply passionate about defending freedom, there is a seat for you. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you and get ready for a night you won't forget.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Look at that monster.
I did. I saw pictures of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
saw
this
it.
deer, dude, this is probably one of my proudest moments and things that I've been able to, and nobody can take this. This is a Kodiak Island Sitka blacktail DIY with a bow. And that experience, like from a vanity perspective, like, dude, that's not a big deer. Doesn't probably mean a whole lot to a lot of people, but the experience was like pure and wild. And that's what I loved about, and that's what I do love about Western hunting, is it feels wild. Like when people do Western backpack hunting, like they go up to Colorado, and some of these people go do that and they do it DIY by themselves, and they stay for 5 days by themselves. I'm like, dude, your balls are like coconuts. Like, that's crazy. And that just takes a different type of mentality. And for me, that's what kind of pushed me that way. I also wanted to do the slam. Like, it's very hard. It's very long term. It's not something you can just flip a light switch and it's over. I wanted to do that. So that kind of led me that way. And then once I realized like kind of how crazy and how wild and how pure the experience is, and how it's not just a big dong measuring contest, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like if somebody goes out there, hauls their food in on their back, they kill something, they eat it, they hike out of the mountains with it. I'm like, nobody can take that from you. Like nobody. And not that somebody can do that with a deer either, but that wildness, that unpredictability, the craziness of it all, like that's what gets me going. Like I really like that. But after doing a bunch of that now, or a decent amount of that, especially this year, I'm like, man, it's nice to go freaking shoot a deer over a corn feeder.
Yeah.
You know? So it's both.
Yeah, but you have to have that, right? Like you have to, I guess you have to challenge yourself, right? Because you start to get comfortable in what you're doing. So if you challenge yourself to do something else, like to go to the Kodiak, like that's the craziest thing in the world. Like why wouldn't you? And then somebody would then judge you for shooting a spike horn. Like, most people, myself, would be like, dude, hats off to you, bro. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. That's the craziest thing ever. And that's the biggest trophy in the world. Like where's yours, bro? That's what I would say. Yeah. Like, where's yours, man?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, dude, no, it's awesome. It's that part of it to me is like, not that whitetail is perverted in that sense, but it's become, I feel like a lot of the purity of why we do it and how we do it and what we're pursuing and what goals we have, like, has to do with the influence of a lot of other people. And you know, it is like a bigger, better, badder kind of pursuit. And that's just not something I necessarily want to participate in. And you don't have to, but like by pursuing other stuff, it's just kind of rewilded the experience for me and allowed me to like, it just adds a new element to it. And like you said, it's a challenge. So it's just different.
I think it's a great thing because I think, like we said in the beginning, like if there wasn't social media, we'd still be doing all of these things, right? But like when we were younger and shooting 100-incher basket rack, we thought we were on top of the world, dude. We thought we were Mark Drury. We thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Now you do it, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to post that on social media. I don't think that's a good idea. Like, but I still have the same feeling when that thing comes in, dude. I'm shaking the leaf on a tree, and I'll do it, and I don't care, and I'll pull that trigger, and it's the greatest thing in the world. You tell me right now. No way.
Oh, I smashed a spike, dude, and I was like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I was jacked up, Um, 30, I think I was 3,500 miles away from home. And you're on an island, and hey, you realize like I'm not in control of anything here. Like nobody cares that I exist here. These mice, this bear, these deer, they're gonna go do their thing whether I'm here or I'm not. And so like you just kind of put you in place in the world of your significance, and you're like, I'm not significant. I'm an intruder in a foreign land, and like my goal is to come in here and kill something and bring it home. And it's, dude, there's that even on less than like if people don't have the aspirations of going and doing that stuff, you should do some of that stuff just for your soul, just to go spend some time alone and separate. Like my phone didn't work and I was only texting my wife via satellite.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, God, dude, that's just good for you. It's really good for you.
So we do a handful, or I do a handful of, when I say we, me and the dog, do a handful of shed hunting in the North Woods of Maine. And it's my favorite reset. I haven't been in 3 years, and I promised myself this year with the hustle bustle of world of everything going on, like, to go up there and just separate, man. Like, I don't care if I find an antler. I don't care, just to watch the stars and be in a different place with no cell phone reception. Don't have to worry about no people, no horns. Like, it's incredible to go to those places, and those are those reasons that we do this. That's why we have the woodsmanship, the survival skills that we have. That's why we've done this for so many years and loved the outdoors, is for those reasons. And, like, I think it's like now you can't get separated from it, because when you're in your tree stand deer hunting or you're chasing elk, you're looking on social media. What's going on? And you can't be away from the people, the hustle and bustle of life. Like, I think, is that your first time you've really separated from all of that, or like in a place like that far away?
Oh, that far away for sure. Like, we've hunted New Mexico and hunted Colorado and Nebraska. I've done Wyoming, South Dakota.
With or without service in a lot of those places?
Yeah, but a lot of those places still have service.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them do.
Yeah.
So, like, in that sense of, like, it really makes you feel out of control, because you're like, hey, I get a text from my wife, and it's like, hey, this is happening. I got in a car wreck. This is going on. It's like, okay, the quickest time I could be back to you, like, is like 2.5, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So like you are completely out of control of anything. And honestly, there's places that are a lot more remote than Kodiak, like probably the Northwest Territories, the Yukon. Like there's other places. None of it. I don't know how they say that.
None of it Canada.
Yeah, dude. There's some places that are a lot more remote to that, and I'm just like, oh my God, it makes you. To me, it's like those trips aren't even just about the hunting. It's like, oh my, I'm going to get to see something that like very few have seen. And that's one of the things Jake and I talked about when we saw there was a stream in Kodiak coming off the mountain, and it's like 2,500 feet elevation, which doesn't sound like a bunch, but like when you're at 800, it feels like a lot. And there's a lot of brush getting up to the alders and stuff. A lot of that stuff's like over your head. And there's like a stream running off the mountain, and it runs all the way down to like this lake in the bottom. And there's like a bald eagle down in the lake freaking grabbing salmon and a bunch of other stuff. And we're just sitting there. And one of the things that Jake said that like kind of stuck with me is like, how many people have seen this stream? It's like, dude, I don't know. Like us, maybe a couple other people if they've came in here and bear hunted or deer hunted. And it's like, but it exists. It does this thing every day. Like agnostic of what you're doing, it's doing its thing and it's out here and it exists. And I'm like, gosh, how many more places are like that? Like how many places on there where it's like, dude, nobody has stepped right there. Nobody's looked at that before. And that, I don't know. Talk about like a creator and feeling like a god of the universe and everything else. And it's like, oh my gosh, I see those places and I'm just further affirmed. And there's like a verse in like Romans, I think it's Romans 10. It talks about, since the beginning, people have seen the things that you created and they know that you exist. And like, that that's true when you're in a place like that. Mm-hmm. Like, you're like, I know there's something, this was not a mistake. Like this is so all that. And you go shoot a spiker and it's like, I can't summarize my experience by a spike that I shot. I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's in your own mind. Like, it doesn't matter. And how many of those animals have actually seen a human being? That's the craziest part to me. That's the craziest thing in the world. Like, some of these animals have never seen a human being, or those animals have never been seen by a human. Like as far as like like trophy animals. Like if there was, you know, a 140 Sika black or whatever. I know it's a little bit obscene, but like
You'd be a monster.
that lives in the Kodiak and has never been seen by a human being ever in its entirety.
Dude, we were talking about that in Alberta too. It's like, dude, how many of these bush bucks that are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old have never seen somebody, have never ran across somebody? Like this place, there's places up there that are millions of acres. And dude, Alberta, I think, has 5 million people in it. It's like, that's the population of Oklahoma, which is like one of the least populated states. And this place is like 5 times this. It's like the size of Texas. So it's like, dude, there are deer in here that, like, if you walked up on them, they would be like, what the frick is that?
Right.
Like, I've never seen something like that before. Which is, to me, that fires me up. But I did find it. It's not Romans 10. It's Romans 1:20. It says, forever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and the sky. Through everything God has made, they can clearly see his invisible qualities, his external power, his divine nature. So they have no excuse for not knowing God. That puts it in perspective when you're in a place like that. Like, that couldn't be any more clear. Like, it's freaking, dude, it fires me up talking about it.
It
But
does.
back to Kodiak.
Yeah, it's the truth, though. I mean, and think about it. How many nights did you sit out and just look at the stars that are there? Like the night it's a different type of dark. It's a different type of stars. The astrology is just incredible. Like, I don't know, that if that doesn't fire you up, you're not alive. Like, you're literally not living, in my opinion. Like, I think a lot of people miss that because they just don't understand. They don't get it. They don't. I don't know. I it's upsetting sometimes because I'm like, dude, why? These are the things that we do this for. We don't do it for 180s. We do it because at some point there was somebody walking this earth who made a flintstone, flint-napped, arrowhead and shot an animal, and like, I don't know. I get upset about it because it's like, Fred Bear didn't start doing what he did and shooting those animals for a reason. Like, I don't know. I get so upset about it. Like,
well,
I really
going
do.
back to the whitetail thing that I was talking about earlier, and I kind of put it in perspective, just like kind of reminiscing on it a little bit, and not like I'm the Bear Grylls of hunting or anything. I don't want anybody to take it like that. Like, I'm not some ultra runner badass that does all this stuff. Like, that's not me. I'm just kind of getting into this side of it. But like, you think about it, imagine you're in the Midwest, you're on a bean field, over a corn pile, with a cell camera, in a box blind, with a heater, with your iPad, and you're like, dude, are we even hunting at this? Like, are we hunting at all in this? Not that, like, if I could afford a box blind, maybe I'd have one. But
right. If I had a lease in the
if I had a place worth putting one, might have one. But
I'd be that
it's
guy.
just like, you look at all that, and you're like, is that what hunting is? Like, just every earthly modern convenience at your fingertips, and then if something happens to walk by, you're like, okay, cool, I'll decide to shoot that. So that's not that I don't do some of that stuff, but like, to me, that's not the stuff that fires me up anymore.
No, and I totally agree with you, and I think that that's the great thing about everything, where what you want out of this sport can be different than what somebody else wants out of this sport and what they want to do with it. If they want to be a trophy hunter and chase that certain deer or chase that certain elk, like, hats off to you. And I envy you for doing what you're doing and chasing that high that you want to chase. But you should have the hats off for me too, for what I want to do. If I want to do X, Y, and Z, like, I think that's where it kind of gets construed. Like, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's cool, but it's not what I want to do, and I want to do it in my own way. If I want to be only an upland hunter, and you're an elk hunter, don't tell me that I'm not a hunter. I just want to hunt what I want to hunt, and you want to hunt what you want to hunt, and we should congratulate one another no matter what. Like, I think that's where it gets a little bit construed, and people, in that egotistical, like, world that we live in the hunting field, that's what upsets me. Like, that bothers me a lot, and I don't try to be negative, but like, it upsets me.
Yeah, well, everybody wants something else out of it. There could be somebody that lives in a high rise and sitting in a box blind over over a cell cam and everything else, to them is a wild experience. And so like, I'm not going to take what I think and be like, that's the way it should be. But it's just like, everybody's kind of on their own journey. Right. And it's like, depends how you grew up and what's happened to you. There's probably the guys that go slam 300-inch bulls and they're like, dude, all I want to do is go shoot a 120-inch whitetail. What would that be like? Like,
that's reality. That is a huge thing. There is, I've seen it. The boys at the Working Class Bow Hunter, Kurt, and Jordan literally is a Western hunter, full flight, and shoots 200-inch mule deer like it's his job. Like, it's just an everyday occurrence to him. And he shoots a 140 in Illinois, and dude, I thought he was gonna come unglued, bro. Like, it was like the greatest thing in the world. Never shot a whitetail, never hunted out of a stand, like craziness. Yeah. And hats off, dude. Like, that's so cool. That is the best.
Yeah, no, it is. I saw one of the guys I follow and I like their content a bunch is Pedro Ampuero. And I saw him come over to like Ohio and kill a whitetail, and it was like, dude, it was like hunting something foreign for them. Like, they're shooting these roe deer and other stuff. And so like, it's just perspective. And it's when you hunt a whitetail your whole life, and you kind of see the state of everything in the whitetail world. It's like, for me, it's easier to like kind of lower my expectations on the whitetail side and be like, okay, cool, but I'm going to go hard on this Western stuff. And then I'm going to obviously try to shoot a good buck. I'm not going to just sit on my hands, but you lower your expectations, you'll be happy.
Yeah. Well, Christian, I really appreciate you jumping on with us. I know it's gone by very quickly, and I didn't even get to introduce who you were, so we might as well end with that. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do, man?
Yeah, so my name's Christian Babcock. I was born and raised in Bonita, Oklahoma, Northeast Oklahoma. Went to college at Oklahoma State, met my wife in 2019, got married. We have a 7-month-old son named Leland. And so I do run a podcast with my buddy Jake, and we have a hunting page called Hunter's Advantage. So we just basically document our hunts and go all over the place, shooting pods, hunting, and just kind of keeping it fun. I live down here in Central Texas. So as much as there's some cool Texas water stuff down here, I don't fish a whole lot. I kind of just get after the things with hooves and try to shoot stuff with my bow. So it's pretty simple life in a sense.
That's awesome. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and kind of follow along with all your hunts and your journeys, man?
Yeah, man. So you can check us out. We're Hunter's Advantage on most platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We post the podcasts and all the hunts and stuff. YouTube's probably the best place to follow us. We put majority of the content. So yeah, just check us out on YouTube. Everything's going to just be Hunter's Advantage.
Cool. And before I let you go, man, why don't you tell everybody what drives you outdoors?
Dude, that's a really good question. I'm sure you've got that answer before that.
Every podcast, we ask every single guest before they leave the podcast, and then nobody's ever had the same answer. So,
man, there's not many things that I like kind of attribute to my identity and part of like who I am. And I think to hunt for me is just to be who I am. It's just living authentically is to just hunt. And maybe that's a part of my environment or how I was raised or what, but like, I just think God innately made me this way, and this is what I love to do. And so what drives me outdoors is just to go chase things that God put on this earth for us to go and enjoy. And so that's what I love doing, and I think that's part of who I am.
Christian, no better way to end the podcast, man. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on and have a conversation. I hope that everybody goes and follows Christian and Jake and what they do. And for everybody else, thank you for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.